Many thanks, colleagues, for making time joining us this afternoon as we give an account of what happened in the game six of the seventh series. It was electric yesterday at the MTN Arena. By the way, the fans did not feel the fee increment because it was filled to the brim. Definitely,
It wasn't filled to the brim.
Yeah, man.
That was I would say that was a normal crowd. I would say because I think it was even much the comfort. I would tell you, it wasn't as packed as even game 3 or 1. To be honest, me from the visuals,
Yeah.
because I remember there are games where we sat and we were back to back, like so close that sometimes the heat, the ventilation wasn't very good, but still for game 6, I would say the numbers were very manageable, and I didn't see people at the entrance this time now. You get it? So putting the fee at 20, yes, it had a bit of crowd control, but I don't think people didn't come because they didn't have the 20,000. You get it? So I think one of the reasons why people didn't come, I would attach it personally to maybe the question was, if I'm paying 20,000, then what? You get, because we realized that the halftime, literally nothing happened. It's actually only the music that was coming from the DJ that was the experience of the game. But remember, this is entertainment. Basketball, you're not just coming around to watch guys run around, make a bucket, and then go home. There is that feel, that vibe. That's why you realize that often, the energy you live with from the arena is the energy that goes out, let me say, into the party mode and all that. So when you look at, I would reference to rugby. Rugby before the game and during the game, there's a lot of things that are happening in between there. There's vibes on the music, there's meats, running, the drinks are moving, cocktails are not. Yes, they're doing this, but the energy in the arena is not giving that, that vibe. I don't know if it makes sense. So sometimes people are asking themselves, if I pay the 20,000, I come to the arena. Yeah, that's good. Then what happens after? That's why you realize that every time the game ends, we have a span of about like not even an hour before the big crowd disperses, and it goes at once. You get it? And of which this is what keeps the culture moving on, being around guys talking. But immediately the game is done, you'll not see anyone around.
I hear you, and let me also take this time to welcome some of the people that are joining us this afternoon. Uncle Drew, thank you so much for welcoming me back. Thank you so much.
Actually,
I'm happy to be
yesterday.
back. Yeah, I see DJ Sparks. One, thank you for making time. Jody, I see you. Thank you so much for making time joining us this afternoon as we just get a glimpse into what could have happened yesterday. I'm here with Nyanzi to give me the analysis about this. Now, Nyanzi, let me bring you up to speed. City Oil, Namongo Blazers levels the series. It is now 3-3. But what a performance from Henry Sebagala coming through game 6, tense as it was, composing himself. And for me, I want to get it from you. Do you think that he fit well into the shoes of Tembo Kasereka, who was able to play defense against Lambert? Because we saw him a couple of times preventing Lambert from actually doing what he's supposed to do naturally, but also putting up those points. What could be your account for him?
Yeah, one of the things, Henry, was fresh legs. You remember, he rested. I would say he was dressed up on, I think, game 2 or 3, but he has rested for quite a number of weeks. And if he didn't perform like that, there will be a question mark to that. Because coming from the bench, and you know how the City Oil team has been killing Namongo, the ball has been a lot fed on top. Then problems come when the ball goes, even when they would miss, they had a plan B of Komagum, tipping off those balls. So Henry being able to be in the front and also playing the denial and be there in time as he was marking Rambert, it was a good addition. And remember, Rambert has played one of the most minutes on the City Oil team. So when you bring a guy who is having fresh legs to mark him, that means he has an advantage physically. Though when you talk about experience, the experience Rambert has, you can't compare it to Henry right now. But in these crucial moments, guys like Henry, and I saw his attitude even on the bench. He was really into the game, and not just in the moment when he was playing, but even when he was on the bench. I saw quite a number of players talking him through. You get, and those are moments that are very crucial, that you step into the game before even you're on the court.
Still talking about that, the mentality, because you have sat for 2 games and then you're called upon in game 6. The mentality with which actually I was listening to Tony post game, giving an account that it is very important as a player sitting on the Namongo bench to always be able to come through when you're called upon. And what an example.
Yeah, that's very good. That's why I would tell you, most young players should copy something called humility. Humility is something that no one will give it to you, but it's a choice that you stay humane as much as possible. Because when you look at the experience and the positions Sebagala is supposed to fill in, and these are people who have played basketball for quite some time. And me personally, to have seen Jimmy and Abu play basketball back in the days, I think in UCU, then Night Riders, then went to Power. It's been quite a journey. And when we look at people who have really played on that level for a very long time, we would put Jimmy in that kind of class. And this is the guy you're supposed to replace when you come on court. And if you look at how Jimmy is, the down to earth kind of, when he's subbed, when he's coming on court, because there are so many games we saw that he didn't even play. You get it? But his attitude didn't even, flick a bit. So when you're having such players, the likes of Tony Drileba, they've been there. They've been on the national team for quite some years. They've won championships with the City Oilers, as you know. But still having the same attitude that, you know what? Sometimes you'll get these minutes, sometimes you don't get these minutes. But when you get those moments and you've been given an opportunity to showcase, step into those shoes like they're yours. You get not coming in with an attitude that you should have played me even earlier. The reality is you didn't play then, now you are going to play. You get, so if you don't use those opportunities for a young player like Sebagala, that means you're cutting your longevity into the game even shorter. Because these are moments where coaches are seeing how you behave, not just locally. Remember, right now in a digital world where our viewers are not limited to the arena or to Kawo Sports or to NBS Sport. You get, and these are the viewers who are actually even abroad, coaches, abroad scouts, and all that. So we need to use those opportunities every time we get them. Me, the few times I get to talk to these guys who are playing professional right now in the top tier teams, humility is very, very important for them. And you would see that after sitting 3 games, he came and everyone felt like he was playing the previous game.
Definitely, because the question that came through most yesterday following on social media, a lot was, where has he been? Where has he been? I actually saw how his team received him when they called a timeout. Him having put up 3 3-pointers, taking the game to above 9 points. You get it? The way they were hugging him, holding him, telling him that yes, you're made for such moments. It was really very, very exciting. You could not get enough of that. But let me bring you up to speed. What's his name? Obleng with a masterclass performance. Named man of the match. Would you be surprised?
Yeah, actually, yesterday I wish we had 2 men of the match. To be honest, because the performance Henry gave and what Obleng gave yesterday, it was amazing. I would say that from the first attempt he made, things started, working his way.
Actually, you start to feel the real change when Obleng steps on and then Henry Sebagala.
Exactly. And when you look at how Obleng played, because for him, he has been dressing up, he has been coming on court, but his performance wasn't as electric as what happened yesterday, because he was giving us both on the inside, on the free throws, and the 3-pointers. So when you're having a player like that, and also don't forget he was also giving us good defense. You get, so with such a performance and going forward for the fans of Namongo Blazers, that's the kind of energy you would want to take on to Game 7. Yes.
Of course, giving credit where it is due, Nyanzi. Looking at it from the City Oilers side, we have always now known, actually from this 7-game series, I now know why Komagum is Komagum, because having watched him from Game 1, I've seen why the City Oilers had to sign him. The guy has a great defensive contribution to the City Oilers side. But for me, the greatest question about City Oilers: when does Bali? I mean, when does he get to miss the 3-pointer when he makes the decision to shoot? Fayed.
Yeah, Fayed, like I told you from game one, where I didn't really get a lot of minutes. But I have a certain kind of belief in Bali Fayed because he has moved up in the ranks. You get when you look at him, how he was still in high school, then how he was in UCU, we saw, like, I would say, improvement at every level. So for a guy who has played basketball for that time and gone through all the processes, being on a national team, where actually at one point everyone felt like, why would you take a guy of that height to try to, to play at the same position where he's marking a guy of about 6'5" feet? You get So those moments were challenging, but still Bale didn't downplay himself. Bali Fayed, I would tell you, even today, the times he wasn't on the floor. Somehow I didn't feel. I kept on asking myself, why would he be off the floor? From how he has been performing throughout the season, and this is the moment he's built for these moments. And he has been there before with the UCU Cannons, but he has also been there before with the City Oil team, even with other players that they kept on bringing in. So looking at Bale and how he kicks off his game, often, me personally, the games I've noticed, Bale, I think, initiates his game with a three. And often, I would say, I need to quantify the percentages, but often these threes happen to drop.
I'm telling you, I've watched that guy shoot, and in most cases, you must count it.
Yes.
In most cases, you have to count that three. And let me also ask you about Joel Banza's performance yesterday. In spite of a good spirit, in spite of a very positive attitude, it didn't go as well as it went for him in Game 5.
Man, Banza is I would say, one of those special players who keep on giving you another angle of themselves. Banza often, sometimes how he scores, it gives you the narrative that is a typical offensive player. But coming from yesterday's game, I saw another angle of Banza, where he was actually playing a hard defense on Nyembo. And when you look at the size difference of Banza and Nyembo, I saw a good fight. When you look at weight-wise, height-wise, Banza is on the low side of things, but I saw him playing Oxy because there was some switches that happened. There's even one, I think they called a foul. He swung off Oxy's hand, and I think the umpire called offensive on Oxy. You get So when you look at a guy who is willing to commit to even bigger guys without calling out for a switch and still giving them a hard time, those are kind of special players I would really put a lot of respect to, because often we don't get that. And you've seen someone might be a very good defensive player, but when it comes on the other side of the floor. Are you
suggesting right now that yesterday Banza ripped more defensively than offensively?
Yes, I would say so.
It is the same thing that happened to Nyembo, Game 5, where he was marking Lambert.
Yes. The same thing.
The whole time. Because he registered his lowest score.
Yeah, he was even fouled out in that game. Yes. So when it comes back to defense and offense, a lot of times, that's why, actually, you remember Game 5, I think, when everyone was saying Nyembo was too tired. You get, when someone is giving you that kind of hard